We are here with the fine folks from Caesar Inc. and we're going to be talking about the multi-award-winning, we're going to call it that now, multi-award-winning Doomsong and everything you guys have been doing. So how's it been going for you guys? It's been hectic over the last little while, hasn't it?
Yeah, so we've been, we fulfilled the Kickstarter, maybe a couple of months ago, 3-4 months ago, maybe more actually. And since then we've been obviously selling Doomsong and all of the connected things. Reprinting some things here and there, and working on a future adventure.
Ooh! Can you tell us a little bit about that, or?
I can, yeah. Anyone who's noticed that the villain in our first adventure is Pestilence.
Yes.
Might not be surprised to find out that the second villain is Famine.
Ooh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, so whereas in the first adventure you play as Gravediggers, we're thinking that in the next adventure you'll be playing as Witchfinders.
Okay, I like that. Okay, so rather than the trusty spade, what is the Witch Hunter going to take with them?
Pitchforks and torches.
Love it. And more farmyard implements is always good.
And the unending authority of the Ecclesiarch, of course.
Of course. For anyone who's not played Doomsong or is sort of new to it but really likes the look of it and stuff, can you tell them a little bit about sort of what it's like as a role-playing game and the themes and the ideas?
Yeah, absolutely. Doomsong is a role-play macabre set in a medieval dark age on the cusp of a biblical apocalypse. So in the first adventure that you play as Gravediggers, the gates of hell are closed, so all the dead that you've spent years burying are now coming back. So your job has gotten more complicated and your funding has not increased.
It sounds very familiar.
Yeah, increase of responsibility but no increase in pay.
Yeah, wait a minute.
So it's a 2d6 system. It starts out very simple, so you have a character that's a combination of being randomly generated, but also, you kind of live through a mini choose-your-own-adventure when you're creating your character, where some things are forced upon you, like you might have a tragic accident and lose an eye, or you might be born in the slums, or both, quite often both.
You can die as well, can't you, in the character creation? So.
You can, yeah. Becoming a witch is quite dangerous, and becoming a thief is quite dangerous. You can get burned or hung, which we are thinking of doing an interesting little twist on with the Witchfinder campaign, where when you get burned, you can roll a dice to see if you were saved by the Witchfinders Guild.
Ah, I see. Right.
So were they walking past and they thought, no, wait a minute, we could use a witch on our side? It's a 2d6 system that uses a cursed coin as a sort of critical failure, critical success mechanic, but the coin also acts as a kind of narrative spotlight that keeps a character doomed. And then another player who might be desperate for a critical success will flip the coin and they'll have taken the coin and now their character is doomed. So it's a risk-reward as you sort of go through.
In a terrible, horrible world where everything is trying to kill you anyway.
Yeah, risk.
Yeah, one of the things I really liked when we were doing the sort of demos and stuff of this was the way that you sort of deal with combat as well, where it's kind of a lot of, again, risk and reward elements in there. Like, do you go early to try and beat the creature, or do you go later to try and get more actions out of it and things like that?
So the combat system uses a 6-step initiative. So you set a d6 at the start of a turn, and like you say, quick actions like drawing a weapon or doing a hasty attack go early but are less likely to hit. But if you want to be more precise or more sort of do more complicated actions, maybe you want to wait until the end of the turn. But then the monsters also have a 6-step initiative, so and they all have an individual stat block as well. So they kind of have a built-in AI that means that if, as a GM, you're running sort of 10 monsters, you can just throw 10 d6s and your monsters have made their decisions.
Exactly,
They might be a little less intelligent than if you were wargaming it out, but at the end of the day, it's much easier to run a large combat when the AI is built in. You don't have to think, what would a spider do? What's the spider's...
Am I in the mind of a spider?
Never get in the mind of a spider.
No, that's a bad idea. Too many legs. One of the other nice things about what you guys do is that all of your stuff just looks gorgeous. So you have a really talented team that does all this by hand and sort of brings it all to life and stuff. You guys work tirelessly to get all this out. Like, if you've seen any of the stuff on social media from these guys, they have stacks and stacks of things that they're getting out. They're foiling stuff. They're doing all sorts of weird stuff.
So we've actually just, as in like 10 o'clock this morning, we got the foiled covers for the deluxe version of the rulebook in. Morgan, Morgan Finley, who wrote the award-winning Lord Have Mercy Upon Us adventure, has been hand gilding a bunch of books that are in blood red. So we've got a bunch of blood red core books with hand inlaid gold gilded sort of recesses, and then they've got a custom dust cover that's only on those ones.
Oh my god, so
even
good.
Bigger, even shinier. Honestly, it was really weird when they came in and we put them on the books, and I looked at them and I was like, this is so good, it makes the core book look worse. And the core book is exquisite.
It's still gorgeous in its own right, yeah.
But they just can't be too close to each other.
Never the twain shall meet. So yes, if people want to come and find you guys here at the expo, they can come and check out your booth and stuff, yeah?
Absolutely. We're in Hall 3, and we'll be dressed as priests.
If you miss these guys, like, what are you doing? Yeah. So yes, come and check out Doomsong, check it out online and all that kind of stuff. Check out our Let's Play as well. It's very cool. We got some really nice interviews with you guys as well.
You got to play in the Let's Play?
I did. It was a follow-on from one of Jerry's test games, I think it was, which was really cool.
Did you survive?
Yes, we did. Just about. Just about. Oh no, someone flew out our window, I think. I think that's how it worked. Which happens quite a lot, I think. But yes, come and yes. Come and check out the beautiful Doomsong. Come and check out the live blog and the live stream as well, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Bye for now. Hi there folks, we're back at UK Games Expo. I'm here with Dan, and we're going to be talking about a game that is quite close to my heart, mainly because it involves little tiny bearded guys walking around in their old holds, trying to fight monsters and all that kind of good stuff, and that is Grimskald. So, for those people who are uninitiated, I mean, seriously, how have you missed this? What is Grimskald and sort of how does it work?
Well, Grimskald's the company, Torch and Shield.
Oh yes, that was it, yes.
That's right, I'll correct you. So basically it's a dwarf-based dungeon delver skirmish game where you can play on any dungeon tiles, use any dwarves you've got. And the core mechanic is a fuel light source mechanic. The game basically revolves around that. You start with a set amount of fuel, and as it goes on, it starts to deplete. And once you run out of fuel, your torches and lanterns will start spluttering out. And once your torches and lanterns splutter out, things start to go a bit sideways. In the light, the dwarves are pretty good at kicking the monsters' asses, but once the lights go out, the monsters get the edge, and things can go pretty pear-shaped for the dwarves. So it can be completely competitive PvP, or there's complete solo co-op options. You can play through. We've got a cooperative campaign which you delve into the halls with a friend, or you can do it all solo. Like I said, use any dwarves, but we have our own miniatures on our site that you can check out with interchangeable weapons. You can arm your guys any way you like, or you can just throw models down, WYSIWYG it. It can be beer and pretzels if you want it to be, or you can really get into the tactics of it. So we have our own dungeon tiles as well, but like I said, you can use any dungeon tiles, any gridded tile, basically, it all works.
So you folks went through crowdfunding fairly recently, I suppose, in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
How has that all been for you? So
So we had a successful crowdfunding campaign. Trying to think when it was. I think it was the end of 2023. And
that was it.
Released it all in late 2024. So it's gone pretty well, and now we're working on an expansion called the Vaults of Zarn, which includes a grand campaign, which basically just expands out the game in 100 different ways, gives you loads more narrative options and new clans. We're introducing the elves, human.
Ooh, interesting. Okay.
You got to have elves if it's a dwarf game, because you want to be able to knock them on the head with a hammer.
Unleash the animosity.
Exactly. And 2 playable monster crews. One's an undead dwarf clan who inscribed themselves with runes of everlasting, and it didn't really work out the way they wanted it to.
Was it like a monkey's paw situation?
Something like that. Then now they're living forever as undead. And also a Krell, which are like some monstrous gnoll-like beasts. So, so that's going to expand the game out a fair bit. We've got a couple of other things on the table as well.
Yeah, sure, go for it,
So, you would know that we pumped out a quick Doom Divers game.
We did, yes, I remember that. We talked about it in the news and all that kind of stuff. Very aptly released.
Yes, yeah. So that was just a bit of fun. I literally wrote it in a week, but we had so much good press from it, and people from around the world were playing it in Argentina and all over the place, saying I'm doing my part, and Starship Troopers in it. So we were encouraged to kind of create a rule set for it, expand it out, move away from the Helldivers, Doom Divers kind of trope into, so it's called Drop Core Pioneers.
Okay.
And basically it's it's a sandbox rule book, so that you can play any co-op video game shooter on the tabletop. It'll have, you want to do a Gears of War thing, you can do it. You can do a Doom co-op shooter on the tabletop. There's a Demon World, and we have different biomes and loads of different things. So it's the most beer and pretzels game imaginable. You don't have to write a list. You just show up, choose your equipment for your soldier. Each person plays one soldier, and you start gunning down hordes of bugs, monsters, aliens, or whatever else. So
I love that.
yeah, so cool. That should be a few months away before it starts hitting the Kickstarter. And I suppose the only other thing I can show you is we've got these Grimfields terrain tiles that we're working on, which are a 3D printable, magnetisable terrain tile. They're really sturdy, and they just clip together. You just print them, and you can build up a big collection, and we'll be doing several editions, so you can add new stuff to these. So
and that's just going to be growing and adding to your catalogue over the course of the next couple of months and that kind of thing.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, exactly.
Very cool.
So
Very nice.
Our business, we're actually going full time in the next couple of months, and just going to give it a whirl. And so we'll be producing a bunch more stuff. We'll be able to produce a lot more at a better rate. So.
You need to support Grimskald then. That's clearly the option we're getting here. I was going to say, what's really nice about this one, and I suppose both of your games actually as well, is that a lot of people have a lot of miniatures lying around in their collections, and to find some really fun games to just use all of those with is a great option. There's a lot of people, including myself, who have a lot of like Doom minis lying around from old board games. They seem like they would be perfect for that. So
yeah, exactly. We just wanted, particularly with this Drop Core Pioneers, we just thought we can really expand this out, have several different biomes in the book, so you can play in deserts and them actually impact the game, and the same with different aliens. So you could have an orc horde, you could have a, like you said, demon world. We've got the idea as well to have human rebels. So if you've got some Imperial Guard miniatures lying around, you can simulate
You could go grimdark,
yeah, you can go grimdark. You can go. And even the equipment rules allows you to literally have power armoured guys. So if you want to recreate Space Marines as they probably should be on the tabletop.
Rather than just falling over,
Rather than falling over, actually having 4 Space Marines mow down hundreds of enemies, you can do that with...
Like a certain lieutenant, perhaps,
Yeah, like a certain lieutenant in a certain game. But yeah, you can definitely do that and make the most of those rules. So it's just one rule book, that's all we'll be putting out for that, with maybe a card deck. So
obviously you said you guys do your own minis and things for people to use with Torch and Shield and stuff. Are you doing the same thing with your sci-fi stuff as well? Are you going to start creating your own minis for that as well? Or?
So for Drop Core Pioneers, we haven't got hard plans for miniatures yet, but we do have a Patreon, which we're going to start pushing into a lot more regularly once we go full time, and there's probably going to be some kits that will come out. So we might do like the Demon Force kit, or the aliens, it might be Halo kind of type aliens or something like that, just so people can do all the things. But yeah, once we can actually give all our time to it, we'll be putting out a lot of new things, and all of our stuff's available online on my mini factory. If you want to print it. So
very cool. Oh man, if you want to come and learn a little bit more about Torch and Shield, and of course your new stuff you guys are doing in the sci-fi world and that kind of thing as well, make sure to come and check out OTT, and obviously you guys, links and all your things on social medias and all that kind of stuff as well, because this is honestly very, very awesome. You should definitely come and check it out. Thank you very much for talking through all of that. That's really cool. Best of luck with everything you guys are doing in the future and going full time with it all. It's a scary prospect, but a fun one, I guess.
It is. It's crazy. Just do it, right?
Exactly.
You only live once, so we're going to do it. Thanks for coming and talking to me. I appreciate it.
Make sure to come and check out more of our videos on the live blog, and of course on the live stream as well. And we'll see you guys in the near future very, very soon. Bye for now.
Hello everybody and welcome back to UKG 2025. I'm over here at Raybox with Marco to talk about a whole host of releases, new releases, upcoming releases, Redux releases, so many releases.
So much good stuff. Yeah, we're happy to be here, and it's our first time we're exhibiting here, and it's been really thrilling, and you really got a good chance to really demo stuff and really get people playing the game and stuff like that. So it's going real well.
So starting off, for people who are unaware of who you are and what you've done in the past, the first game is Escape from Stalingrad Z.
Yeah, the first game is Escape from Stalingrad Z. It's a narrative campaign, kind of choose your own adventure style game. And aside from, it's a weird world war, so it's World War II with zombies.
Yeah.
And one of the unique aspects of the game, I mean, it's very tactical, of course, but is that it plays on an open book. So you play directly on a book, and it's got a really small, compact space, quick setup, like 2 minutes to set it up, and about 20 minutes to half an hour session. So that's some of the real kind of the key things that bring people back to it or make them interested. And it's solo play, of course. I forgot to mention solo play. I just figure everybody does solo play now, but anyway, so that allows, I decided to do solo play because when I get a game and I get it home, I want to play the game. And I don't want to wait for someone to be my friend and decide to play the game with me. So I want to crack it open,
So the initial Stalingrad Z, the book itself is a narrative adventure that you play through with characters. If you come over here, Shay, you can see an example of it laid out. And this is the next game that's just hitting the market now post-Kickstarter?
Yeah, this is the sequel. So the Escape from Stalingrad Z came out actually at the UKG 2 years ago. We're almost sold out of that game, but the sequel is Escape from Projekt Riese, which is an actual Nazi underground complex that existed during World War II. And we basically were like, maybe they had zombies there too, right? And it uses the same system, it uses the same way of playing on a book and all that. We've kind of extrapolated a bit further. It's the sequel, it's a standalone sequel, so it's kind of like 6 months later, right? Yeah. So 6 months later, this is happening, and I like to look at it like movies. Like you see, the first one's the first movie. Yeah. Like Stalingrad Z was like Alien, and then like Escape from Projekt Riese is like Aliens. Yeah. So and so far the reception's been great. Not only like here with the fans, and through just we've actually picked up good distribution. It's available kind of everywhere as it's coming along. So it's very good.
Yeah. The nice thing about this is there are really gorgeous miniatures that you can get, but it's a deluxe add-on. If you want to, you can just play out of the box with standees and counters as well. So if you're not a miniature painter and you don't want to go that way, you've got the opportunity to just play something very light and very compact.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Like, part of my concept with the business was to be able to offer a game which could easily add on miniatures, but you weren't kind of forced to buy them. So there's plenty of people, and I'd say about half the people who buy the game who are just interested in the game and the story and the tactics and having fun, and they don't want to pay an extra $50 or $100 for miniatures. Yeah. It's just not their thing. So that gives my game access to a larger crowd of people. And those who do want miniatures, of course, you can buy them in the game. Really, it's technically miniature agnostic because you don't have to buy them, but we have a whole slew of stuff that's like, kind of official miniatures as well.
Now, both of these games use the Path Unknown system. They're World War II. However, you do also have a delightful Dark Ages game / early medieval.
I would say, yes, we do have that. Gates of Nilheim, it's kind of like a Nordic horror type of game. And what happened was after I did the World War II stuff, it was like, I wanted to access, not everyone's into World War II. Yeah. Plenty of people are into fantasy style games, and certainly plenty of people are into Viking games. So it was about creating a Viking game. Really it was about creating a fantasy game, but I chose to do Vikings because it's a bit more edgy, I feel. I mean, they really, Vikings are edgy. Yeah. And in this particular one, which also uses the same basic system, like I'd say 80%, 85% the same, and still uses the book format, this game, I wanted to create a world using the mythology of the Viking mythology. So it doesn't have zombies because the Vikings didn't have zombies, but they certainly had Draugr and other kinds of really cool Maldrums and other kinds of really cool creatures. So we incorporated that into the game, and so plenty of undead still, right? And it's really Vikings and the Christians kind of teaming up, the Irish monks teaming up to fight this unholy bastard, the Shadow Jarl, and so it's all set there. It's set on an island tomb, and it's really cool.
Directly below those in the cabinet is something that moves away from the gritty, unrelenting horror of zombies, something a bit more family-friendly and kid-friendly.
Yeah, so after we did the fantasy one, and Tom proposed to me about doing something with cats, and it was about trying to, again, access a different market, but using the same, kind of concept that we had. And so anyway, so we have the Cats of Mont Saint-Michel. The Cats of Mont Saint-Michel is, you get to play cats basically during the, just at the end of the French Revolution, and it's really fun. And it's basically the type of game that we found a lot of people who are interested. I think a lot of people really love cats. I don't know what else to say. They love cats. So that game is our most successful game, even though it's the most recent game. We raised, I think we're close to 4,000 backers one way or another. It's being translated into French, Spanish, into not Italian yet. So French, Spanish, Polish, and Mandarin.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's being made in China too. Yeah, I mean it's going to be played in China. Yeah.
I mean that one intrigued a lot of people. The idea of having a cat-cateer, not mouse-cateers, running around the place in France is particularly. It's just very engaging, very cute, and it has a really interesting aesthetic behind it.
Yeah. Well, okay. So first of all, we decided not to make them too cute.
Yeah.
Okay, so the cats are vicious. Like so I would be like our cats bite kind of thing, right? And originally it was going to be really a design rules-wise as well as thematically more for children. But as we started developing it, it became not for children. And instead of vanquishing the rat, you're actually killing it. So it's you can still play with your people will be playing with their kids. Like I play with my daughter. She's 11, but the artist Omar, he has a great visual stuff. He's on board. I don't know if you know, or maybe it's the first time I'm telling kind of the public, but we're already working on the sequel, and that will come out next year. And Omar's on that as well, and it's a really, really interesting sequel. We're going to be setting it in New Orleans, 1866. So right after the Civil War, you got voodoo, you got swamps, you got crocodiles, you got the gambling boats, you got vets from the war. It's going to be dripping in mystery and creepiness. It's going to be really cool, and I want the cover. He's going to do the cover. I want it to kind of echo some of the Vallejo stuff that was in the, We'll see how it comes. But I want it to be really, anyways, that's the next one. I know I'm getting ahead of myself.
I mean, I'm intrigued by that. I know a lot of people have seen Cats of Mont
Saint-Michel.
That one. And we're blown away by the art style and the aesthetic. And when we look at things that we used to watch when we were kids, and even fairy tales we were told, there was always that grimness. There was always a bit of death to it, and you never knew what was going to. Yeah, definitely don't suck your thumb. Scissors will come.
Thumb clipping and whatnot. Yeah.
So those are all solo or solo/cooperative. There is, however, the possibility to play multiplayer with sort of PvP in a more traditional wargame style.
Absolutely. So after we finished Stalingrad Z and we were working on Projekt Riese, I wanted to be it's partly because I wanted to play it. So most of the games I make because I want to play them, then I make them. So and I really loved Necromunda, and I loved the team, like kind of building a crew and outfitting them and going to market and battling it out, and stuff like that. And so we wanted to create something in that kind of realm, and we came up with Arena Battles. And Arena Battles is an expansion for Stalingrad Z or for Projekt Riese. But not only is it a whole system to build your crew and a base and outfit them, and rules for tournaments or for fighting your buddies and whatnot, and scenario creation and all that sort of thing, but it's also it also fills in even more lore. Like there's just more background, more factional, it's just really great to bring more life to the universe.
Yeah, I mean, it's another sort of self-contained box. So you've got the battle mats in there, the dice, everything you need if you've got the initial set. However, there's a really gorgeous looking setup here, which shows that you can play it more like a traditional miniatures game if you have those things.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, it's easy enough for us to do a conversion to do tabletop, and I personally love it. So I built it with the maps because a lot of the players aren't miniature players, so I still wanted them to be able to just play this game, right? So we've got 3 sets of maps in there, and you can easily play it out of the box with whatever you have in the basic game. But for those who might want more of the tabletop experience, we also included rules for conversions, and I like it not only because I enjoy playing it that way, but that its presence even in stores. Like if you have a solo game, it's difficult for someone, no one's going to bring it to the store and open up and play in the store. Yeah. So creating this game is a way for players to like have a lot of fun in store, and then other people to go, what are you playing? And like, then, so it's also almost a little bit of marketing to get, but something we love to do anyway, so yeah.
I mean, it looks absolutely terrific. Mine arrived just before we left for UKG, so I haven't even opened the shrink wrap off it yet, and I'm planning on doing that very shortly. If people are here at the expo, where can they find you?
They can find us in Hall 3A, and we're at booth 263. We got a corner booth. We've got games running all the time for the rest of the show, and they can come check us out here, yeah.
You can't miss it. There's a massive red double-decker bus right opposite it, so that's a good guiding point for you. If they're at home, where can they find stuff online?
Well, you can find all of our stuff on our website, which is www.rayboxgames.com, and if you search the titles on GameFound, we're all on there too. Some people are, they're used to using GameFound, so they can buy directly through there with already registered whatever, so it's good.
There you go, folks. Definitely worth checking out if you're into solo gaming. Maybe you're not, maybe you've never played solo gaming before, but you're interested in something a bit different that you can pick up and play and have that really nice narrative story throughout the entire thing, and you can jump in at any point or read them all as one continuing narrative for the World War II games at least. We're going to push on and see what else is here at the expo.
Hi there folks, we're here at the UK Games Expo. I've been on the Asmodee stand, and I've been lucky enough to be joined by Joe, who's one of the designers behind Star Wars Unlimited. You guys have been going from strength to strength with this game. There seem to just be expansions out the wazoo coming up for this. So for anyone who's not familiar with the game though, could you sort of like give us a brief overview of what Star Wars Unlimited is, sort of how it plays and things like that?
Yeah, of course. Star Wars Unlimited is a trading card game based on the Star Wars universe. We've been around for a little over a year now, and that means we have put out 4 sets, soon to be our 5th. Every different set has a different focus from your favorite parts around. So the set 1 was about the foundations and like the original trilogy. Then we dabbled into like bounty hunters, then the prequels. Then this one was all about space battles. And now the next one, Legends of the Force. This one was my baby, and it's all about Force users, all different parts. So if you like the sequels, you like Clone Wars, you like the High Republic, if you like some of the old Legends content, that's all in this set.
Is that kind of like your favorite bit then, the Force users and stuff in Star Wars?
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. I'm a sucker for Jedi and Sith and lightsaber fights, and now you can like recreate that in the game, and it's really satisfying.
I'm going to put you on the spot. Who's your favorite Jedi and who's your favorite Sith?
Favorite Jedi.
Or Grey Jedi, maybe somewhere in between. Is that a term that we still use, I guess, in the extended? I don't know. But
I'm not sure if it's still used, but easy answer for Jedi is probably Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yeah. Just so fun to see the character arc in all the different eras. Sith is a little harder. Darth Maul. Darth Maul is so cool. Like the first, being a 10-year-old in that theater and watching that double lightsaber turn on, one of the best. It changed me.
It was very, very cool. And he looks even better with his mechanical legs as well, I always think. So, yes, yeah. So, how does sort of like gameplay work for Star Wars Unlimited? Because it's a 2-player game, isn't it? So.
Yes. Well, the main game is a 2-player game. We do have a 4-player mode, but the basic gameplay is you take action by action. Unlike many other card games where you take an entire turn, you only get to do one thing, and then your opponent gets to do one thing, and then you repeat back and forth. You'll build up resources over the turns, which you will use to spend on cards. So as the game goes on, you'll get to play bigger and splashier cards. And you are working on attacking your opponent's base. First base to reach 0 loses. And every deck has a leader, which is always in play, giving you some kind of ability. And then at a certain point in the game, you can flip your leader and they enter the battle. So if you love Boba Fett, he's one of the leaders in the Jump to Lightspeed Spotlight decks. If you love Qui-Gon Jinn, he's in Legends of the Force as one of the Spotlight decks. And he's my favorite deck. He's so much fun.
Very cool. Yeah, and so as you were saying, you've got loads of different ways for people to get into it, because you obviously started with the kind of the Age of Rebellion. You had Luke Skywalker versus Darth Vader was in the first set, of course, and then it's expanded into a couple more dual decks over the last couple of the year or so, isn't it? So what's in those couple of decks that people can get their hands on?
Yeah, so every deck has a leader and some cards that are exclusive to that deck. One, they're really good starting points for new players to see what a new set is about, what the new mechanics in that set are, and try out the game for the first time. But they also give more entrenched players some exclusive cards that they are harder to get otherwise. So, for example, Boba Fett is exclusive to this starter pack, or the Spotlight deck. And then a card like this, No Disintegrations, iconic line from the movie, is exclusive to this deck as well.
Yeah. So it's sort of tied into the characters, which is a quite nice way of doing it. So.
Yeah, we try to make them very thematic as well as good gameplay experiences. The first year, sets 1, 2, and 3, we made them more beginner-friendly experiences, paired 2 decks with each other that were thematic over strength. But now in year 2, we've got a nice fan base going. We wanted to have players have good starting points if they go to their local shop and play a game against others. These decks should do a little bit better competitively. There's still like a thematic through line, but there might be a few odd cards that are like, you know what, this works really well mechanically with the leader. Maybe it's not the most thematic, but we want to prioritize that gameplay experience now.
So you were saying, obviously, you quite enjoyed doing the Force user stuff, and that's been kind of like what you've been looking at and focusing on at the moment. What have been some of the like really fun key things that have come out of development that you thought that just works so well, or like you sat it down with in front of players and they've gone, oh my god, I can't believe that this kind of works, and these combos all fit together really nicely? What sort of like hit out for you?
Yeah, there was a lot of that in Legends of the Force. So that's the new set coming out in July, and the new mechanic in that set is the Force. So we have cards now that have the text "Use the Force" on them, and it's really satisfying to see that. The way that works is you have to gain the Force by attacking with your Force traded units, and then you can spend it later one at a time, and it kind of creates this ebb and flow, which one is really satisfying because it kind of gives you a setup and then you feel an impactful payoff. But 2, it feels pretty thematic because you can kind of feel it like coming and going, almost like you're meditating and then like using the abilities. And it's really fun to see new players and more entrenched players use it in different ways. The other thing that came to mind as a more funny answer to that question is when I had new players playtesting the Spotlight decks for Legends of the Force, everyone's favorite card was the Porgs.
I love that they've managed to work their way into the game. That's great.
Oh, they're fantastic. They're super fun. They're really silly, and you can still use them in decks and like be pretty effective. A lot of people love to make just a pile of Porgs, have like one giant unit that's maybe 7/7, which is really big, but it's just a giant pile of Porgs.
How did your base get destroyed? Porgs.
Yes.
Porgs destroyed my base.
Forget Darth Maul, it was the Porgs.
So if people are coming here to the UK Games Expo this year, what can they expect when they come over to the stand to sort of start playing Star Wars Unlimited?
Yeah, we have a bunch of different demos available. So we have the Spotlight decks from the last set, Jump to Lightspeed. That's what's in front of us here now. We have demos available for Twin Suns, which is our multiplayer format. So you can sit down with 4 players. It's a little bit more chaotic and fun, whereas the one-to-one version can be a little bit more like competitive focused. Twin Suns is a blast. It works really well, and you have to play around the table. The first person who get eliminated ends the round at the end of that phase. So the game isn't just over for you and you have to wait around for 20 minutes if you're knocked out. So everyone has to think carefully, like, if I knock him out, the game ends and I'm in second place. So I have to kind of protect that guy.
I did wonder how you were going to kind of play with the mechanics a little bit to kind of like make that so it's fairer for everyone.
Yeah, so it kind of becomes a little self-balancing where all of a sudden you make these like uneasy allyships with someone who is maybe attacking your base the turn before. And it becomes good, fun, like kind of table talk.
You could say that you found a balance in the Force. Oh, very good. Yes. We also have some pretty awesome stuff that you guys have got here at the convention as well. So we have Darth Tyrannus. Oh my God. Can you tell us a little bit about this and sort of how people can get their hands on it?
Yeah, so if you come by our booth and you play a demo with us, you will be able to get one of these cards. We'll also be here, John and I, the designers of Legends of the Force, signing these or any other cards that you might want to bring in. And you can play designer duels against us too. If you bring a deck from home, you can try to beat one of us and probably beat one of us. But
see how it comes out on top. It's always the curse of the designer that you lose most of your games, I guess. But
yeah, here and there. It's there are some really good players out there, and it's really fun to see that. But yeah, no, come by. This card is really strong. It's really fun, and the artwork, well, it's beautiful.
Can you share any sneaky things about what you guys have got on the horizon? Any sort of teasers, perhaps, or ideas that you'd love to see, maybe?
I will say that Set 7, which is not yet announced, was also a John and I project.
Oh, okay.
So if you like Legends of the Force, you're going to like that one too. We're really proud of it, and it changes the game in a big way because we have our rotation start then. So sets 1, 2, and 3 will be removed for Premiere. You can still play them in our Eternal format, but the Premiere format changes a lot, and we're really satisfied with where it landed.
So you've got plenty of plans for Star Wars Unlimited for the rest of the future, so yeah.
Oh yeah, we're working on this for at least a year plus in advance. We've got sets in development that are way down the line, and we are in it for the long run.
I was going to say, you've not got any shortage of stuff from Star Wars Universe to dive into and have fun with. So
no, and it's great whenever a new show or video game is released, we're watching it and be like, that's a card.
Do you do a Leonardo DiCaprio moment and go, hold on a second, I could do that?
100%, yes. I got this job after, or just before Jedi Survivor came out, and one of my favorite games. And playing that, I just stopped and screenshotted all the time. I'm like, I gotta remember that. That's a good card.
I've recently just been playing Outlaws, and I'd really love to see some stuff from that. Unless it already is in there, maybe? Is it in there yet? Oh, maybe, possibly?
It's a matter of when, not if. So.
Yes. Haha. Take that as well. Well, thank you very much for taking us through Star Wars Unlimited. Obviously, if you want to come and do some demos and stuff here at the show, you can come and talk to the designers and sort of play the game and have some fun with it. Maybe get yourself one of these lovely promo cards as well, which is always nice. Love a little promo card. Get it signed as well. That makes it even better. Get it signed on the actual card itself, not the sleeve. Don't do that. That was a mistake I made once. Nope. No. I was like, where has it gone? Oh my God. But yes, absolutely fantastic stuff. I think I might be buying some Star Wars Unlimited. Yeah, I'm going to be poor. But yes, brilliant stuff here from these guys. Make sure to come check them out here at the show. It is just through the Hall 3A entrance, so you'll see it immediately as you step into the room. Make sure to watch the rest of the videos in the live blog and over on the live stream, and we'll catch you guys in the near future. Bye for now.
Hello everybody, I'm back here at UKG 2025. I'm joined by John from the Sabre Guild, and they've been running classes for Padawan learners and younglings of all ages over the weekend. Seen you last year, but we didn't get a chance to talk to you, so do you want to tell people a bit about what the Sabre Guild is and what you do here?
So we're a Lucas recognised costume performance club. Basically, we're doing lightsaber lessons for the children. So younglings just going through basics on how to sort of do sort of basic wields and basic attacks, all with our members here in costume. So it looks sort of quite nice. So in universe, and then we've got adult lessons, basically where they're going through like a performance, or one of the ways that we build a performance, working with a partner to sort of create their own performance. And at the end of it, they get to perform it in front of the rest of the class, and they can record it to show, look, I was an awesome Jedi, or I was an awesome Sith. Yeah, it looks really, really good.
How did you get into this? Was it coming in through something like cosplaying, or were you more interested in the martial art aspect?
So I come from a martial art background, so I've been doing martial arts since I was about 8 years old, and loads of different styles. And then there was a gentleman teaching medieval longswords, basically in Milton Keynes, where I was based. But they were using the polycarbonate swords that we've got, and I was like, oh, okay, that's sort of something different, just for like safety reasons. And then they were doing events, so we sort of get dressed them in a Star Wars costume. Then we started doing events, and it went from there. So so it's sort of, people come from different backgrounds. So I come from a martial. Some people come from like theatre backgrounds, like stage performance. Some come from a cosplay background. But you can come from no background and everything else. There's no sort of definite way you can join it. Anybody can join it. It's welcoming to everybody on all levels.
Yeah, as long as people like swinging a lightsaber at somebody, then it's a good way to go. When they were learning sort of moves, you're saying it's sort of choreographed. I used to do some reenactment, medieval and Dark Age reenactment, and there were very specific strikes and blocks that we would have to follow in specific orders. Is that the sort of thing you would do, teach positioning and poses, or is it more freeform?
Because of our connection with Lucas, basically all has to be as a performance. So basically all has to be choreographed for safety reasons, stuff like that, like they do on the stages from the films and stuff like that. But yeah, we have basically strikes coming to certain places, and yes, you can block in different ones. So you can have, if you're blocking your waist, you can have it with the saber pointing up, which is a standing parry, or hanging down, which is a hanging parry. So basically it gives people a little bit of creativity to sort of make their own. They can just evade it as well if they want to, and sort of go from there. So people can put their own flares on it. So we teach them a move. But yeah, people can put their own twists and flares. They can put spins in there if they want. They can spin the lightsaber. You can have dramatic pauses where, as you say, if you come from a reenactment background, basically sometimes you just want a bit of a breath. So you can step back and go, right, sort of size people up and sort of do the Darth Maul like they did in the thing where he's just walking with his lightsaber, just to get a bit of a breath before you carry on again. So yeah,
Which is a good way of doing it. How long does a class last then?
So the children's classes, they're about 20 minutes, sort of going through there. The adult classes are about 40-45 minutes for that, but we can make them as long or as short, but to try and get as many people into the event and let everyone have a go and experience basically what we do. Yeah, it's about 20 minutes for children, about 40-45 minutes for adults on there.
Yeah. And even though it's your second year at UKG, presumably you don't just come to UKG, you travel around the country.
Yeah, so we are basically a charity organisation. So, yeah, so all the work we do is basically charity and good causes. Yeah, and we do like big Comic-Cons and events like this. So we can sort of do like a little small event raising for like a small cancer charity, or we can do big events like this. Our go-to charity that we support, if there's no charity there, is like Make-A-Wish. But then and we have like Make-A-Wish children come and like join us at events sometimes as like an experience that to do to sort of give them a sort of a day out as well. But yeah, we do anything for charity, whether it's actually raising money, raising awareness, whatever else. So we do all of that.
Yeah, and have fun doing it as well, which is always good.
Yeah, well, saying a lot of people you sort of see us, so it appeals to loads of different generations. Yeah. So our generation, we remember the original films and we can do it, and the new children nowadays have got a lot of the cartoons out there. So it's something that parents and adults can do together and sort of have fun doing it. Yeah. And you put a lightsaber in anybody's hand and light it up, everyone's sort of eyes like wow and everything else. So yeah, it's really, really good.
So how do people find the Sabre Guild outside of the sort of the displays you do? Is there a sign-up page, a website that they go to, or are you based in clubs around the country to come together?
So we've got like social media, so we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, so we're posting there, people follow us. We have QR codes on our table when we do events, so people can then follow us, which a lot of people do because they a lot of times they enjoy our session. They're like, oh, where are you going to be next? Follow our pages, we always post up. And we've also got a recruitment group, so people who are interested in joining us, we can actually help them then, so they can join in there. We can discuss the costumes, because we've got loads of different styles of costumes on there and different colours. We can help them out with that, help them out with making the costumes. costumes as well with patterns, because we all make our own costumes to quite a high standard. And then sort of go through all the process of getting cleared with us. And then it's a case of we can submit it to our global team, and then we're then recognised. And you got to do 2 events a year to keep your costume active. But we do these. But then we also get invited to like film premieres because of our connections and sort of like sort of a thing, seeing films and TV series and press days, which is sort of very, very nice.
Very cool indeed. Spend a lot of time running away from the 501st, I imagine.
They're one of our sister clubs, so basically with Lucas have basically got like 7 like main clubs, so they're one of our sister clubs. And when we're at events, when all the clubs are together, we interact with them. So we have the officers come in and walking around trying to find somebody with a warrant card. With the Mando Mercs, they come in and they arrest. We arrange them to arrest some of our Padwans that are in the class and do that. The droid builders, basically we get them to do like the force push with the children's classes against the droids, so that's all fun there. We sort of interact with all of our sister clubs, so it makes it fun for everybody.
It sounds absolutely fantastic. It looks tremendous as well. There is a frightening amount of work goes into choreographing something, and we just did very basic. They're a bit more elaborate here. If people want to come to see you at the expo, where are you based?
So we're in Hall 4, basically at stand 4X, so behind the Star Wars Unlimited sort of section in the middle of the Hall 4. Come along to our table, basically we've got sort of sessions on there, just basically sort of read our forms, sign up, we'll give you a time slot to come back. We are booking up very quickly, basically yesterday and today. We only allow people to sign up for the day they're in, so we could have actually signed up the whole weekend yesterday, just to make it fair for people who only got 1-day tickets already attending 1 day. So better come along, basically get to us as soon as you can. You can come to us at 9 o'clock or whenever the event opens, and sign up for a class at 1 o'clock in the afternoon if you're doing a tournament or whatever else, and then come back and then basically reserve your slot then with us.
There you go, folks. It's an absolute blast. It looks fantastic, and if you can't make it to the expo, definitely look for them online, see where they're going to be next, and maybe join up to the Sabre Guild in the future. And don't worry about Order 66, it will never happen to you.
Hello there folks, we are here at UK Games Expo and I'm here with Kevin, and we're going to be talking about Catan and the fact that it is the 30th anniversary of the game. I mean, we couldn't come to UK Games Expo and not talk about Catan. So could you tell us what it's been like, I mean, over these so many years, and sort of like where things are going for the game in the future?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a really celebratory moment for us. Obviously, it's a big milestone to reach a 30th anniversary. And in tandem with that, we've also just released our new 6th edition in English. So the game has gotten a full overhaul, new premium box, updated rulebook, all new art on every game component. It's the most beautiful the game has ever been. Lots of little quality of life improvements. We include card trays now in the box, which is great. And being able to be here and talk to folks at UK Games Expo about it has been a real treat. The future of the brand, I think, lots of fun stuff coming. Only so much I can say, obviously.
Of course, I was trying to tease it out of you, but...
what I'll say is this, right? We're thinking a lot of the work that went into the 6th edition of the game was about making Catan even more approachable, right? Make the book easier to show the rules to a new player. Make it easier to get started. Even the card trays, right? Make it easier for players to put their game away and then unpack it when they're ready to play again. All of these things are attention to detail around making the game the smoothest possible experience it can be. We want to expand on that, right? We want to take that forward and do more with the Catan brand to make new products and new games that help people ease into learning board games, learning Catan, trying it maybe in a different light or a different environment.
I imagine you've probably had even quite a few veterans of Catan who've probably been playing it, I suppose, with 30 years for maybe most of their life, potentially coming back to this and sort of diving back in again. Has it been kind of refreshing to see their sort of like approach to how they view the game now and all that kind of thing? So.
Yeah, one of the best experiences truly is being able to show the game to someone who, they remember it. They say, oh, I loved Catan. I started playing Catan 20 years ago.
It was on my bookcase for ages. It's all tattered and all that kind of thing.
I loved this game as a kid, yada, yada. And they all say that, and then they look at how far the game has come. All the incredible improvements that have been made. How much more, bright and impactful the art is, and the quality of life changes with the card trays or the changes to game components. They go, this is better. And to walk people through that and to be able to have watched people for years say, oh, I really wish the extra components for a 5th or 6th player fit in my original box. We did that. I wish you guys had included card trays. We did that, right? So it is kind of fun to just run down the list of all the things people have been asking for decades and say, yeah, we did that.
Covered all the bases.
Most.
Most of the bases, most of the cardboard bases. Is there a particular expansion or like take on Catan that you are like in love with in particular, or is it you always love the core version? What's the one for you?
I mean, it's different for everybody, right? For me, honestly, I love playing Cities and Knights. I think it adds a lot of really good complexity and depth to the original game, but I'm a sucker for a game that fits in one box, right? When I sit down to play with my friends, I'll pull out New Energies, which we just put out last year. It's a good spin on the original formula, so anybody who knows Catan, you can teach them the new stuff relatively quickly, but it adds a flourish here and there that kind of like makes you rethink your strategy, approach the game in a different light. I love it. I think it's probably my current favorite.
Is there a particular supplement or expansion that you think you would suggest to somebody who has the core box and then you think this is a really nice next step for them to sort of add a little bit more sort of depth and complexity to the game beyond what you already get in the core box?
Yeah, if you are someone who has played a lot of Catan but has never sort of ventured beyond that original experience, I would suggest starting with Seafarers.
Which we have actually sort of shown that there.
Yeah, it's right here. Seafarers, I think, is of the expansions, it's the one that sort of makes the most sense to someone who is familiar with the original game. It kind of gives you an easy, it's a short walk from I know how to play Catan to I know how to play Seafarers. And once you play it a couple of times, the really nice thing about Seafarers is it includes a bunch of different scenarios. So as you kind of thumb through the rulebook, you can see 5, 6, 7 different ways to configure the board that really actually change the way you play the game. As you play through them, people will find they have different favorites. I really love the Wonders of Catan. I think it's the best one for me. But overall, it is probably the most approachable of the core expansions. It's the easiest one to get people started on the experience of expanding Catan.
One of the things I've always enjoyed about my time with Catan is that every single time I've played with a different group, a different meta has evolved in the way that they like to approach aiming for victory and that kind of thing. And I think that's one of the depths of the game as well, is that there are so many different strategies towards that eventual victory point.
Yeah, well, so interestingly enough, actually, we do have an organized play circuit. People play in qualifiers and tournaments. The United Kingdom National Championship is being held right here at the UK Games Expo.
We walked through the hall yesterday and had a look at that, which was really awesome.
Yeah, we're in the process of crowning a new UK National Champion pretty much as we speak. So, and that person will qualify to join us at the next Catan World Championship. We just held Worlds 2025 in Stuttgart, Germany. Canada, the current world champion, and we're hoping to announce the location of our next world championship relatively soon, which will be in early 2027.
Wow. So there is so much to dive into when it comes to the world of Catan and all the different expansions that you guys have done for it as well over the years. It's so nice to see that even after 30 years, it's still a fresh game for people to dive into and have some fun with. And as I say, if you're a dab hand at Catan, you think you've got tippy-top skills, maybe enter one of these competitions and see whether or not you could come out on top, which would be pretty awesome indeed. So yes, let me know what you think about your thoughts about Catan, and have you played it in years past? Have you only recently dived in and started playing Catan? It'd be fun to hear what you think about it in the comments. Thank you very much for taking us through your thoughts on it as well. Make sure to watch more of our videos on the live blog and in the live stream, and we'll see you folks very, very soon. Bye for now.
Hello everybody, I'm back here at UKG 2025. I'm over at Dice Heads with Andy to talk about Zoontalis, and this is the first time I've managed to get anywhere near the stand where it hasn't been 3 deep this weekend.
It's been really, really super busy. We've had a great time, pretty exhausted, but ready for one more fantastic day, definitely.
So, do you want to give us a bit of an idea about what Zoontalis is for people who haven't seen it before?
Okay, so Zoontalis Battle Royale is an animal skirmish game. You have different guilds of animals battling out for quick-fire skirmish scenarios. In every team, you've got a wizard, a rogue, a ranger, and a fighter, and every character comes with their own character card to be used in gameplay, so it's nice and quick and easy and accessible. The whole point of the game is that it's about removing barriers to gaming and making it as open to a wider public as possible. So it has different tiers of entry in the way that you can start off with very simple melee and ranged attacks, but there are added complications. So as the players become more proficient, you can add special abilities, species abilities, and class abilities. And so, for example, each different animal class or animal species that we have a very unique ability, or they'll give you different replayability.
Okay, and so there are what look to be little sort of starter war bands. Are they themed And do they stay themed? So, for example, squirrels together, wolves together, or can you start mix and matching?
Well, yeah, definitely. We have a variant points buy system, so every species has their own unique ability. So the badgers can burrow in and get +2 to their defense. The axolotls can miss an attack and regenerate a heart. All sorts of different opportunities to play differently. So you might just want to play your warband as a classic species of animals, or you do a points buy system where you might want to team up your axolotls with the turtles, or your badgers with the squirrels, and get something thematic, or really get into the gameplay and try and maximise the different replayability.
Yeah, I love the idea of min-maxing via the medium of unusual animal combinations. The cabinet here is absolutely stuffed full of some spectacular looking miniatures. How many have you got in the range now?
Okay, so here today we've got the starter set, which has the feisty foxes and the raging rabbits and everything you need to play in the box. It's really quick to pick up and start playing. And then we've got a whole 10 other different guilds with us. We've got ravens, cats, I've mentioned the badgers, turtles, wolves, lots of different animal types to get into. We've also got another shelf which is our sort of coming soon, and that's been a great opportunity to speak to folks over the weekend to see what they really want to see coming up next. So definitely it's going to be the dinosaurs in the autumn.
Oh, well, that does sound fantastic. Some of the larger models at the back of the cabinet here, a bit more fantastical, looks like a winged serpent of some description, dragon, demon, golems, is that sort of thing. Are they part of Zoontalis as well then, or is this something different?
That's going to be the next phase. So the next phase we're going to have self-activating monsters and bosses, so adding a collaborative or semi-collaborative modes to the gameplay.
Or occasionally two warbands are fighting and all of a sudden a rampaging golem comes out of the forest and stomps through people.
Wouldn't it be fantastic? You know, in the starter set, in the rule book, we've got 7 pre-built scenarios to get you started, but it's all about storytelling, all about making your own scenarios and having fun and coming up with your own stories.
If people want to find you here at the Expo, where should they look?
Okay, we're on stand 2688 in Hall 2. And we also have a great presence online as well.
Yeah. So if people want to check you out, Zoontalis or Diceheads?
So you got Zoontalis.com and also Diceheads.com will get you to us, definitely.
There you go, folks. I know this was one that Ben almost undoubtedly wanted to speak about himself, but unfortunately I beat him to the punch. Check it out. Have a look for it online. The models are absolutely fantastic. They really are just so beautifully kitsch, characterful. And the gameplay seems like it should be an awful lot of fun to get younger players playing and older players cheesing the meta. We're going to push on and see what else is here at the UKG. Keep your eye on the live stream. Bye-bye.
Hello there, folks. We are here right in the middle of a Viking battle that is taking part here at the NEC. You will remember that the Viking Village is always here this time of year. And yes, as you can see, the Vikings and the Saxons are battling it out for the heart of Mercia. And there has already been some bloody battles happening here at the event so far. We have, as always, the lovely Solvi, who is leading us through what's happening here as well.
Have beaten back the Vikings. They have killed them. They are leaving some alive to regroup, form up again in the hopes that maybe these last few brave souls, even if they do die, will die with a sword in their hands and they will go to Valhalla, to Odin's Hall. They will be victorious regardless of death because they go to Viking heaven. They die with victory in their hearts. And the Mercians stand proud, having scored the ground of these Viking invaders. Their one true God in their eyes, still the victor.
I always love it when we come to this and we start to see all the brutality that comes out of these guys. If you were doing a full-on running sports battle report for this one, you would think that it probably needs some substitutes at this point. But I'm fairly sure when it comes to this, there are some kind of ways around for getting these armies back on their feet, which tends to happen quite miraculously. So, yes, I mean, obviously we've had some fearsome fighting already. There was even a little bit of boasting earlier as well.
It's a Viking victory. Oh gosh, whoops, no it's not. It's a Mercian victory.
I was going to say.
I was just really hoping it would be different this time, but it wasn't. I am a Viking. I am Solvi the problem.
There was some Viking bias going on here, I think. So, yes.
Give a big cheer to Mercia. The victors, they have saved this place from the Viking Scourge. And if you have met me earlier, my name is Solvey the Problem, not because I solve the problem, but because I am the problem. And I am, in fact, a necromancer. And I will call upon the dead to rise from the ground.
See, I told you there was a respawn mechanic when they had to this, so it's always pretty good. As historically accurate as you can be, of course, which is always nice to see. And it just means more battles, which is always fun. Now, I think I've bumped into these folks when they were at Stafford Castle not too long ago, a couple of weeks ago, and they were really, really awesome. They did some fun reenactments and stuff there, played out some battles. So if you have seen these folks here doing their thing at the NEC as part of the UK Games Expo, you can follow them on social media and you can dive into all sorts of different things from them, see what they're doing elsewhere. Maybe they're going to be fighting a battle at a castle near you, which would be quite fun.
They're going to get back in their lines, and we're going to see if it's going to be a Viking victory, please, please, or another Mercian victory again. So the Mercians are our Saxon groups as well, and you can see from the main yellow and black, they are from our lovely friends Regia and Glorium across the way, and the Vikings are predominantly from us, the Vikings UK.
I'm massively a Saxon boy, so I'm hoping that Saxons are going to win out here today. I can see Solvey's already shaking her head at me about this, but you know, you gotta go where your heart lies. You know, we've already had one victory today, so I'm fairly sure that's going to repeat itself at some point through this. So you know, the old gods and the new are with us, obviously. So. And, you know, Vikings, they're all flash, really, you know, all their gods and all that, you know, they think they're all that bravery and all that kind of thing. But, you know, when it comes to it, darn the end of a shield wall just the same as everyone else. That's the way it works. That's the way it works. We're going for it again. We're going for it again. Right, so...
ready, steady, fight, or ready, steady, cook?
I'm putting 100 gold on a Saxon victory.
They're good at tactics. We're rubbish at them. We're used to fighting people when there aren't anybody there. I remember 793 with the monks.
Oh, I always love it when they do the shield wall. It's absolutely fantastic. One of the nice things about this as well is that these groups really put in a lot of effort into actually sort of like following all the historical knowledge and all that kind of thing. So you follow all the tactics and that kind of stuff. You have to do loads of training and all sorts of things to actually get onto the battlefield, which is always good. But it's definitely worth it. You get your own kit, dive in, have some fun. It would be really awesome. And the shield walls are clashing. Spear on spear, axe, shield at the ready. A little bit of sparring back and forth.
If you've been to our weapons demonstrations earlier or any time in the week, you'll see all the different weapons being used. You can see our javelineers there throwing what would have been basically spears at the enemy, pushing them back. You see the predominantly spear heavy units, the common weapon of the time. You can see a couple of swords there, meaning we've got some very nice warriors on the field with lots of money. Our Derek on the corner there with his helmet and his chainmail, meaning he's very wealthy, but he wasn't strong enough against those Saxon armies. You can hear the tactics, watch the right, hold fast, all the sort of things you might still hear now in an army. These things don't change. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And we've got a good even number here. We'll have to see who is going to be victorious, fighting over the dead, making sure they don't stand on their fallen friends or foe.
What I've always appreciated as well when it comes to it, especially if you've done a little bit of Dark Age wargaming yourself or something like that and got your miniatures together and things, a lot of the time you would actually have these kind of breaks in the fighting between things. So you would have fought for a little bit, taken a little bit of a break, stepped back, and then dove back into the action, that kind of thing. Gives you enough time to do some boasting, which is always fun. So, you know, and also a break, get some water. I think the Vikings might need it. We'll call a break soon, I reckon. Yeah, they've all gone to Valhalla. Oh dear. Sorry, Solvey.
Actually, oh, if we go right, I think you might be wrong. I think we might have Saxons on the ropes.
What? No.
Oh, there's only a few of them left.
A cornered hound.
Saxon army. Look. I think we'll find it might be. Am I right? Is it a Viking victory? Viking at last!
Oh.
For the first time this weekend.
Oh, man.
I have been happy to say it is a Viking victory. Take that, you naughty Saxons.
I can't believe it. I put 100 gold on that.
I know. Yeah. If you're a betting man and you've put money on the Mercians winning this time, I think you'll find you have lost at last.
Oh, well. Right,
I call upon the dead to rise using the old gods this time.
Oh, that's all right then. You know, we're going to go. We get another go.
All right, you can get up too.
Okay.
I suppose I'll allow it. All gods are welcome in the Pantheon. We're not judging. Right, warriors, take on water if you need it. Have that little break. Make sure you take that time to recharge, change your weapons if you fancy it. Have a breather while I figure out what's going to happen next.
Now, whenever I've seen these battles fighting out on the here at UK Games Expo, we often tend to see some kind of like heroic duel happen at some point in the near future. So we have seen a little bit of a clash between the shield lines and all that kind of stuff. But it'll be very fun to see if we actually have a proper hero battle fought out between the champions of the army. Now, it's a bit of a shame, really, that Lloyd can't be here for this. But, you know, I've always said to Lloyd that I was the one who introduced him to Saga. So it feels right that I should be here talking about this and not him, I think. I've even braved the rain to be out here. And a bee. Rain and a bee. Yeah. Thank you. Sophie's just said she's very proud of me. That's really nice. Yes. Yeah. Do you think I'd make it as a warrior if I'm afraid of rain and bees?
Well, I think you could probably give it a good go. I mean, some of our warriors are scared of a little rock hitting their toe. So, I mean, anybody's welcome on the field as long as they give it a good go.
Yeah, the gods would be behind me. I'll be all right.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you can pick anyone. There's loads of gods to choose from. One of them will have you.
Yeah, exactly. I'll be safe. Ooh.
We're going to have a little game now. They've had a little fight. They've had a little bit of a clash. We're going to have what's called a circle, where they all kind of go in a very oddly shaped circle. But they are going to do a little fight one-on-one until we find out who is going to be the champion of the Games Expo. They're doing it with honour, which means fair, hand-to-hand combat, no backstabbing, no eye gouging, none of that. They're all doing it fairly, squarely, one by one. Oh, and there is a man that I have loved all weekend. My man with his wonderful great spear. It's about 9 foot tall, everyone, and I absolutely love it. I've seen him every day, and I've been so happy he's made my weekend. I've never seen a weapon that big in my life. Take that for what you will.
All right, okay, so we're going to put a disclaimer on this video now. So we've all been demonetised. There we go. Right there.
I'm sorry. I'm not really. I did tell you I was the problem. I didn't say that I was a good person. I did say I was the problem, and that is why.
That's very true. That is very true. The champions are starting to come out here, as we can see. A couple of those bouts, changing hands, people moving over to new opponents. We're seeing some absolutely fierce fights now as well. Properly going for it. Sword and spear at the ready.
I called him out. Yeah. So I really liked it, and then he died by Dabak.
Oh.
What a way to go.
Oh.
Yes, another pole-on. It is what it is.
Bringing that big Dane axe down on there.
One of our lovely Cornish there. We're lucky to have him. It's a long way to go from the Kingdom of Cornwall to come here.
I gotta say,
Mercia.
even with these guys being, you know, reenactors and stuff doing this, they are putting a lot of effort into this and seriously going for it, which is always one of the fun things to see about this.
Giving it all he's got. But
oh.
The problem with the polearm is that you don't have that shield there to protect you and keep you safe. Polearms are wonderful weapons in a shield wall, but on one-to-one combat, it's much harder. You don't have the same ability. Derek, get up. You can face Rathy. Go on. No. You've had enough. You wanted to be in the circle, you face the consequences of your own actions.
This is how I think all Dark Age warriors should have been spoken to. A harsh word in the ear from the gods above should have been enough to get them ready to keep fighting, I think. I am now really wet.
I apologise for the weather. Alas, I can control many things, but the weather I cannot.
The dead can be raised, but the weather cannot be stopped. But we're seeing some pretty awesome stuff here.
You can't drown the weather, that's not fair.
Here we go. Oh.
I don't think there will be any running on this battlefield, Halgrim. Face him like the strong warrior you are.
And the final little bit of a clash of arms here. 4 champions going at it. Weapons at the ready. And we've already been demonetized, so it doesn't matter what I say. No, it doesn't matter. Yeah, it's a joke. Shields are clashing. Oh, the sword's been lost! Oh no. Is he going to go for a...
Taken out by the warrior from Niflheim.
No!
Our easternmost Viking.
How can
Give it back! Give him his... For goodness sake. It's wet. Stop it.
Pulled out the dagger.
He had to pull out his Sayax and everything to get him to get over
And he's
it.
done.
Right. Give him your best names.
Here we
Don't
go.
take too long, it's wet.
So the 2 warriors are introducing themselves here. Me? That's an interesting name.
Einar versus Dothry.
Yeah, okay, right. Yeah.
Einar from our group Manaraven. Dothry from Niflheim. Both seasoned warriors. But if you have known anything about this NEC, is that Einar likes to win. And win again he has. Our champion of the Games Expo of this year, 2025, is Einar. Best in show. Give him a boo. Give him a cheer. He likes
boo. Boo. I think.
I will put him on the dead to rise very quickly because I know it's getting soggy under there. Sorry, lovely warriors. I did the best I could.
It has been absolutely fantastic seeing this all fight out once again here at the UK Games Expo. Always fun seeing these battles. I remember a couple of years ago, me and Lloyd did a full-on battle report, stood here, came up with names for everybody. They already have names, but we already came up with some nicknames and all that kind of thing. You know, big shield, long sword, clodfoot, all that kind of thing. Oh, ooh, okay.
We are now going to do a crowd march. So if you want to take a picture or a video, if you are on my side, waving. If you would like to do one on this side, you are going to command them direct, but you're going to come here and do it on the microphone. You don't want to do it on the microphone? Okay, I'll let you off.
So Shay is going to move into position. Move a little bit further there. As the shield wall comes together and marches towards the camera. This is a pretty special moment. I've seen this a couple of times now, and it is always epic and fearsome in equal measure. And it gives you a real impression of what it would have been like if you were standing at the other end of a battlefield as these folks, these brave men and women, were charging towards you and diving into the fighting. Oh, epic as always. And there we go.
Why are you laughing? You're supposed to be scared.
A little bit of a laugh there from the crowd.
Big thank you everybody for coming to watch us today at the UK Games Expo. I hope you've had a wonderful time. I hope you bought many board games and many dice and played many games and enjoyed watching us here. Again, we are the Vikings UK and Regia Anglorum. Please, a round of applause for our wonderful warriors on the field today. And a big thank you to Darak, for who we wouldn't have been able to be here if it wasn't for him. So another big thank you to Darak. And thank you, and I am your host, Solvey the Problem.
So there you go. Shay, come over here, man.
What an epic battle that was. It's always nice to see it getting played out. I will also say, Shay, you got the legs of a demon, man. Ran back and forth all over the place getting this all together, and it was absolutely epic to see it all played out. And thank you again, Solvi, for taking us through that. It was really cool. Could you give us a little bit of a breakdown, sort of like what you guys do and all that kind of thing, and sort of where people can get in contact with you and stuff on social media and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. So, when you mean what we're doing, like what we're doing living history-wise, or not just on the battlefield?
Yeah, not just on the battlefield. So beyond this, I suppose.
Beyond this. So, beyond this, we do lots of different crafts. We are technically an educational charity. So basically, we are just showing what life was like in the Viking and Saxon period of life. Not just like, we don't just fit one period, we fit all over that era. So we've got lovely ladies like myself who are a much earlier kit, with our turtle brooches, but we go all the way to the end of the period in 11th century when we're much more Anglo-Saxon and Norman. But we do everything from spinning, dyeing, food cooking, metal casting, bead making, anything and every kind of craft you can think of, we do. Yeah. But we're also a family friendly, so I have 2 children of my own and a lovely dog who I think the dog likes it more because he gets to have all the cuddles ever. This expo has been the best thing ever for him. But it's family friendly, so we've got lots of families who come, and it's just a really great hobby. We get to camp in wonderful places like this expo and experience the Games Expo as exhibitors, which is just, we are so lucky to do that. But we get to stay in historical castles, like you said, Stafford Castle. We've done Whitby Abbey. We've done the Battle of Hastings at Battle Abbey, and we get to camp in the Abbey itself, in the grounds of the Abbey, in a historical place, and be able to experience that and wake up every day and dress in weird and wonderful costumes, historically accurate, and live being a Viking as it was back in the Viking times.
If that didn't sell you, then I don't know what does. I went over with my partner to come and check out what you guys were doing. I think it was at the Stafford Castle. It was absolutely fantastic. One of the things that was really fun for me is that you mentioned that even if you have a partner who's maybe not even interested in history, there are so many other things you can dive into from the craft side of things and that kind of stuff. And, you know, if you or your partner or whatever want to get into the battles, you can do, and then everyone else can just stay at camp and have some fun if they want to, which is great. So.
Exactly. I don't combat, but my husband does. My son is into combat, but my whole group is a real big mixture of people who are combatants and not. And talking about social media, if you want to find us, you can find us on the Vikings UK. We've got a website, we've got an Instagram, we've got a Facebook. Feel free to find us on there. And also for our lovely guests who we've brought with us, we've brought Regia and Glorium, who you can also find, I believe, on Facebook, and I think they have a website. I don't know about Instagram.
There we go. So thank you very much. And as I say, always nice to check out the battle here at the NEC. Thank you very much once again. And I'm sure we'll be back next year for even more battles. And maybe we'll get Justin to actually stay over a night and, you know, get up in the morning and not moan that he's got a bad knee or something. I don't know. Yeah, we want to see him fight someone. I think that's what we want to do next. Yeah.
Oh, well, if we get him to pass his safety assessment,
of course.
maybe we will be able to get him on. We do, in fact, have groups in Ireland.
Yeah, there we go. Right, Justin, challenge is on. Right, we'll see you guys soon. Bye for now.